Hey, TJ Miller. So I like your screen name post brunch. Are you a brunch person?
I'm not a big brunch person. Are you a big brunch person?
No, I wake up around brunch time. I'm not a morning person.
Okay. I'm trying to get a hold of the manager of the comedy club because it was my birthday on June 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you rolling your eyes at? Like, that's my wife, Kate.
Hi.
She's just rolling her eyes at me. They gave me a birthday cake and I smashed it in my face to try and make my wife laugh. And so I'm trying to get a hold of the GM so I can send a cleanup crew because there's cake all over the carpet. And I can't get a hold of him because no one in my profession wakes up before 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. So I am barely a brunch person as well.
Well, very valid. What kind of cake was it?
It was a really good cake. Kate made that point like this morning. She woke up, she's like, that was such good cake. And I go, yeah, it was good. She goes, why did you smash it all over your face? I said, Kate, we ate the appropriate amount of cake. The two of us didn't need to split a cake. So I think it worked out perfectly. But I'll show you a picture of what
Yes, I want to
happened.
see it all over the face.
It's great. See, technology can be really fun. Hold on. Make sure I can.
Oh my gosh. My grandma would have killed you.
Really?
Cake all over, like no more ice cream cake.
And ice cream cake is my favorite. I'm so glad you brought that up because we've been talking about this a lot. I don't like cake,
Mm-hmm.
and my wife Kate, she doesn't like cake either. But we both love ice cream, and so we love ice cream cake. And I've been arguing with people. There's that which is better, cake or pie, which I consider cobbler to be better than both of those things. Cobbler looks like what I'm about to do to pie. And but we were talking about ice cream cake. I think is superior to regular cake, just like Snickers ice cream bars are superior to Snickers. What do you think? What's your take?
I'm not a Snickers person. I do love ice cream cake. However, I feel like that would be like way harder. Like that would be like some consequence to smash your face. You have to make sure it's already kind of like thawing because I've had like really frozen ice cream cake. And when I have ice cream cake, it's always like chocolate and cookies and cream.
Yeah, right. There are some objects in there that you got to be concerned about in terms. Right, it's a safety issue. So, as I've said, when it comes to birthdays, it's safety first. That's why people love you. They love you for a lot of reasons, but that's a big part of it too, I think.
So, like you said, happy belated birthday. I did see.
Happy belated birthday here in San Francisco. What a treat.
Mhm.
And last night I'm doing shows at Cobb's Comedy Club tonight, two shows, tomorrow, two shows. And last night was so fun. But in classic, this is definitely my wife speaking, classic TJ Miller form, I showed up last night and I said, where's the feature? This girl, Kelly Collette, who's very funny. And I said, has she showed up yet? No, we haven't seen her. And I look, I go, it's like showtime. It was like 7:53. We drove up from Big Sur. So it's pretty much showtime. So I call her. She doesn't answer. I text her. I'm like, where are you? You at the club? She goes, no, I fly in tomorrow. You said you were going to get somebody local for Thursday night. And I said, okay. And then I thought about it and I realized my managers knew, but I guess they didn't. So, long story short, I had already asked for them to grab an MC really quickly. They said there was no one good enough available. So, last night before the show, I'm going, so I don't have an MC or a feature. And the club is like, no. And the guy's so funny. He's like, I mean, I guess I should have just told somebody to come, as if this was somehow his fault. He goes, so I should have just told somebody just to come out, like no matter how. I go, look, I'll just do the show. And he's like, the whole show? Yeah, I'll do the whole show. I said this to him, can you imagine how it's so good that I'm me? How many other comedians would be flipping out right now, demanding that you get an MC, a host, get somebody over here? And just because I'm me, I was like, I'll just do the whole thing. So I introduced myself from backstage right up. You could tell the audience was like, okay, this isn't usually how this goes, but I guess, okay, here he is. And then I sort of said, I was like, you know, it's my birthday show because it was my birthday show. I just want to come up here and hang with you guys. I just want to be with you. So I'm going to do the whole thing. And I proceeded to an hour and 34 minutes and 7 seconds. And it was a blast. Like the audience was so good. I riffed a lot. So there's a lot of like talking about San Francisco and talking with the audience and talking about the audience, which is my favorite thing to do. I could almost immediately guess. I said to one guy, I go, you look, you don't have to dress like you were golfing earlier today. Okay, we all know it. And his friends all crack up. And I was like, was he golfing earlier? Like, oh, he was. The best compliment I've ever had in stand-up comedy, for sure, was after a show. I've gotten this compliment a couple of times. It's very, very high praise. After a show, this guy comes up to me and goes, that was so great. It was like we were just hanging out in your living room or something. Or like we invited you over and you just stood up and you were talking to all of us like at our place. It just really felt like we were just hanging out. And I thought that was amazing. That to me is the highest. It's in film. Your best compliment is, man, somebody watching like, I could be friends with that guy. I bet you I could have a beer with that guy. It would be the blast. He would totally get along. Yeah, he would love my friends. In stand-up, we just felt like we were hanging out with you.
I mean, you do come off as a very down-to-earth guy.
Thank you for noticing.
So I was checking on your socials. Was the last time you came to Cobb's Comedy Club back in 2023?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a second because, you know, every time I come here, I just end up I procure a fentanyl addiction.
Oh, no.
I have to sort of go to a methadone clinic, usually in Sacramento, where I will be in July. You can see on my website, TJ Miller does not have a website.com.
Good luck with the heat.
Kate's looking at me like, here we go. But I go to a methadone clinic and I kind of clean it up in Sacramento. And then once I'm straight, sober, clean, then I will come back to Cobb's and do fentanyl again. That's sort of my performance cycle here in San Francisco. Jokes aside, though, I went outdoors and I saw 5 people on fentanyl. One owner of a croissant bakery, and then just like a valet guy. So the fentanyl addicts have San Francisco citizens outnumbered by 5-3. It's pretty out there. But yeah, I know.
Have your Narcan on you.
I wish I could come here more, and I stopped playing. I told the club this last night. I stopped playing here. This was a while ago. But I had this really bad experience. I stopped playing here because I thought that just San Franciscans didn't have a great sense of humor about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a really, really tough time performing for people that won't let me tease them, who are too self-serious. I feel strongly that I could say that because I make fun of myself. I look like a toddler. That's my body type, a toddler who took growth serum. You know, my haircut right now is as if a lesbian kind of got in a breakup 6 months ago. And it just goes on and on. What am I trying to be here? Just like an inner city substitute teacher. It's all that stuff is fair game because we all should be making fun of ourselves too. I'm not self-serious, you know? And so I made fun of San Francisco one year and they just were livid with me that I would ever. I remember the joke. It wasn't a great joke. I told it last night. I walked on stage. I am so sorry. I was late. I couldn't decide which city paper to buy. The one that says that you guys have the best artisan breads or the one that says you guys have the best artisan meats. And like nobody laughed. And I realized it's because they're like, yeah, that would be tough because we have the best of both. That would be difficult. So I started making fun of them about how the whole city was like, we're not funny. We're the best place to live in the world. It's not funny.
That's the attitude that the Bay Area has. I actually spoke to another comedian and we had an agreement that SF people are very snooty and uppity. I mean, I'm born and raised in the Bay Area, but I don't associate myself with them.
No, but where did you grow up?
I grew up in the outskirts, like Oakley, Brentwood area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but my family, they're very proud, like SF, like go Giants, go Niners. And I was like, eh.
Well, I think the Bay Area is cool. One of my best friends, I have a podcast with my buddy Cash Levy called Cashing In with TJ Miller. Everybody should check it out. It's my buddy Cash Levy, one of the funniest comedians alive. it's an interview show, but he has a tough time getting guests.
It's only
So,
you.
yeah, so I've been the only guest for the last 7 years. He is a Bay Area guy through and through. He taught his kids to hate the Los Angeles Dodgers
Oh, come
starting when they were 4 years old. So he's a huge Giants, Niners, everything fan. And I love the Bay Area. My wife, who rolls her eyes a lot, she really does love Mill Valley and NorCal and all that, and I do too. I just think, yeah, that pretentiousness or that self-serious component of it, it's a little much for me. But I think you guys have gotten a lot better sense of humor about yourselves in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. So I'm a fan. And I think everything changed after the pandemic everywhere in the United States. Everybody had to kind of reframe their thinking about their own city, because everybody sort of started to go, well, what are our values? What does survival mean here? All that. And San Francisco really stepped up to the plate. So I'm a huge fan. And the audiences are great. Last night, the audience was so fun.
And I'm
So
sure
fun.
you're saying the same thing when you go to Sacramento.
Yeah, I like Sacramento. Sacramento is like, I was about to say Lincoln, Nebraska, but it's not. Sacramento is like, it's another California city, but it's kind of like San Jose. Like
Yeah.
people are like, Sacramento, and then you go there and it's really cool. Everybody's psyched that they figured out they're living here or they're from there. And I had a lot of fun. And that club is great too, the Punchline. It's a really, really good club as well.
Yeah, I've also been to the Punchline in SF too. Haven't been to the one in Sacramento. Now, speaking of podcasts, because almost a decade ago you were on Hot Ones, and but you also have your own hot
I do.
sauces. You want to plug that and peanut butter as well?
I do. All this is available on my website. TJ Miller does not have a website.com, not .org, and certainly not .gov. Ugh, I went down that road one too many times trying to get that domain. Yeah, I have my own line of hot sauce, my own line of peanut butter, TPB&J peanut butter, and then the hot sauce is great. We have Chipotle. I have Extreme Gangster Heat. That's for ladies that have very complicated spelling for their first name. And then I have one called Effing Intense Ghost Pepper Type That's how I describe it on terrestrial radio. And they're all great, such good hot sauces. And then the peanut butter is better than any you'll ever have. I'll send you some right after this, but I have dark chocolate coconut. That's for the
Ooh,
ladies. Yeah, that's for the ladies.
okay.
And then cherry chocolate with real dried cherries, honey roasted peanuts and milk chocolate. And then my favorite, toffee crispy with toffee, milk chocolate, and Rice Krispies.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's
that would
exactly
be a
right.
great spread because today is National Donut Day.
Is it really?
Yep.
Well, now we're going back to desserts, and I have to ask you: do you like donuts? And do
Okay.
you ever have a moment? I really love a donut, right? I can really go for a donut right now. Do you?
So as a kid, I loved donuts and I loved the sugar glazed donut, but as an adult, I favor more cinnamon rolls now.
Okay, can you bring me my pinky ring? And also, do you like cinnamon rolls? Cinnamon sugar toast is different than cinnamon rolls. When's the last time you've had a Cinnabon? Jeez, my wife just said maybe I had one once. What is that? I
What?
don't know how to feel
Go
about
back to the
at all.
mall.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Giselle goes, what? Go back to the mall. I don't know. I don't know the last time I've been to a mall with my wife, but yeah, Kate and I talk about it's like a donut just never. And we looked up. I have an AI friend named Conrad, and I asked him. I go, why are there so many donut shops in Los Angeles? Do people in LA like donuts more than other? Like, what's going on? And it said that it's actually the Cambodian immigrants started making donuts, and they were very good at it, and so that sort of proliferated. And so it was almost like they offered something nobody really asked for, but then everybody realized they wanted it. But I'm just not a donut guy. We really aren't big bagel people. We live in New York. I agree with Kate. I can't remember the last time I've had a cinnamon roll, but they're so superior to donuts. You're
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Especially a good one. Not like Cinnabon is delicious, but it's a gut bomb. But like an actually made by a bakery cinnamon roll. Mm. Yes.
Speaking of AI, I heard that you're working on like a sci-fi AI movie.
Yeah, I just finished the last film that I did is a techno thriller, is what we're calling it. It's about sort of AI and what happens. It's kind of about the thing we're all wondering about, which is if somebody gets their hands on AI and decides to use it for nefarious purposes, what does that do? And not even what does it do to society, what can it do to individuals, right? If you wanted to target somebody and use AI kind of as your accomplice to take something from someone or do something to someone, you know, what does that mean when your accomplice has all of the knowledge in the world at their disposal? And so it's really interesting. I'm very interested in AI and, I know a lot about sort of Bitcoin and some cryptocurrencies, but really just blockchain. So all that stuff, my wife and I are very, we're futurists. And so I don't know. I think that's all really interesting. But yeah, it's called AI Love You. And it'll be interesting to see what, people have to say about it. The reason I was drawn to the project is I was on Silicon Valley, which was the show sort of aimed at really, really attacking and satirizing Silicon Valley. And so it's very interesting to me to kind of make fun of and shed light on the absurdities of technology.
Speaking of technology, did you notice any Waymos?
Oh my God. That's the first thing. I was talking about that last night. As soon as we came in to the city, there's a Waymo next to, and I kept trying to drive up next to it to show Kate. There's not a person in there, but the wheel still moves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very bizarre. It's like a ghost is driving you. And so last night I joked about it and I go, what do you guys think of these Waymos? I saw a bunch of Waymo. There were more Waymos. Every time I see a Waymo, I think, children, somebody's children are hungry. And then I said, I go, what do you think about Whimos? And this guy in the front goes, I like it. I like it more. This white dude. Oh, I like it. And I go, what do you like about it? Why do you like it more? And he goes, because I can listen to NWA without being self-conscious. And I go, oh, so you can say the N-word in the car. Okay, that's great. And so we were all laughing at this guy. He was classic, white guy shorts, polo shirt. There are so many of them that sometimes San Francisco kind of looks like this desolate post-apocalyptic world where like robots are driving and fentanyl addicts are speaking to their own sandals and socks and whatever. It's very, very bizarre. There's a lot of them on the road, and it's a lot. I took one once. I'm going to try and take Kate to get in one, but she was like, no, that's scary. I think that's scary. I don't want to. That scares me.
I've been on them many times,
What do
and
you think? What's your perspective?
I think they're safer. However, I also work for a news station, and we just did a study or a story that they're behaving more like humans. Like, no, that's not the point of riding them. If I was gonna be behind of a human, I would just like take a lift.
So they said that the tech they're trying to learn to act more like humans to make the humans comfortable. But yeah, I saw one and it was in the turning lane and it like crept up a little bit and it wasn't a green arrow yet, but it like crept up. I was waiting and like it went to yellow, like crept up. And I was like, that's what a shitty driver does. That's what a terrible driver. It's like driving like someone who's like 17 years old. And like it's so that is not what we want. Soon enough, they'll get like artificial eyes to dart into the rearview mirror and look at you while you're on the phone. Kind
It's
of
gonna
going,
look like
ugh.
those like Chevron, like the Cars cartoon.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God.
Oh my God, you just described how I drive.
That is. But it's how we all drive. I just think it's funny. It's like we have the most powerful computer in the world driving this car, and it's still going to kind of cut off this person, but not get anywhere faster.
Yeah. So I want to go back to you doing your live sets because usually comedians they walk up to music. Who are you listening to? Like, what's the artist playing as you're going on stage?
I walk up to Notorious B.I.G.
Okay.
Hypnotize. I like that. I think that's a lot of fun. My outro is Beastie Boys Intergalactic.
Oh, that's a
So I
good
kind of walk
one.
upstairs. Yeah, so I guess it is kind of 90s hip hop vibes. But I was thinking about this the other day. I don't like listen to a lot of 90s music I kind of listen to some 80s stuff and then I bounce around a lot. But I listen to like lo-fi and Norwegian black metal, so like
Hmm.
death metal stuff. So I go where what I think is funny takes me, sort of. And I remember this. My mother said this thing that I thought was so interesting. I said, "What kind of music do you listen to in the car?" Because she had to commute every day, twice a day, like everybody. And she said, "I don't really listen to music." "Oh, you don't listen to music in your car at all?" She goes, "No. I take that time and I'll make a phone call or talk to somebody." And she goes, "But other times I kind of like the silence." So that was interesting to me. And so now a lot of times at airports and stuff, I won't listen to anything. I'll even keep earbuds in so that people won't talk to me, but I'm not really listening to anything. I'm just kind of.
Interesting.
What about you?
I'm a music person all the way. I don't think I could be in silence. I mean, sometimes it's nice to take a
I mean, it
break.
heals the soul.
It does. You read.
Yeah, I can read.
I was gonna tell you because I usually interview musicians and bands. Like that's my podcast, but I'm branching out to comedians. So I've been changing it up, and I usually ask, "How has comedy healed you?"
I have a couple of people that Nick Swartzen, I mean, Norm Macdonald and Steve Martin. There's some sort of go-tos that I go to when I'm really sad and I'm not feeling great. I go to those because I know they're going to make me laugh. And so it's usually, yeah, after a terrible breakup or some sort of loss in your life, I'll go to that. And I experienced a pretty big loss just recently, and I couldn't really find the music to like grieve to or cry to, sort of. I found myself going and watching a little comedy here and there, and that would make me laugh, and then you kind of are lifted out of it.
You're going on your sorcerer tour, and I feel like comedy also like giving the people the ability to laugh is such a great power. You did a former tweet 2 months ago. I want to talk about it because I thought it was hilarious. You said they always talk about whiskey dick, but never vodka earlobes.
Ah!
Can you explain?
They always talk about whiskey dick, but they never talk about vodka earlobes.
Hmm.
It's true. I mean, I think whiskey dick kind of will interfere with the end of your evening, but vodka earlobes can be a problem the whole day.
Hmm.
If just they're dangling, jingling, can't get them stiff. It's a whole. So I would like to raise more awareness about that, and then also the Aneurysm and AVM Foundation, which tonight I'm doing two shows, and part of the proceeds from the show will go to TAAF, TAF, online.org. And I'm trying to raise awareness about sort of traumatic brain injuries because those can be the invisible disabilities.
Hmm.
And I had an AVM removed in 2010, golf ball size piece of my right frontal lobe had to be removed. I want to raise awareness about that and then also about the vodka earlobes.
Yeah. Well, excellent cause that you're doing. This was odd. I saw it on your Facebook page. I want to bring it up. It says died in 2010. So this is going to sound morbid, but if you leave the world, how do you want to do it? How do you want people to remember
Probably a
you?
space shuttle to Mars. I'm going to leave the world. Yeah, that's what I want to. Yeah,
What, Mars isn't that the planet that Elon Musk wants to like
it's probably going to be great up there.
full of Teslas? We already have enough of that in the Bay Area,
I like the idea that if I left the world, people would sort of look to this podcast and kind of go, interesting.
right?
I like what he had to say about music healing the soul.
I was gonna recommend you because you're from Denver, Colorado. I swear I wasn't drinking earlier.
You should have been.
There's a German group. They're called Milky Chance, and they have a song called Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
What's the name of the group?
Milky Chance.
I'm excited
I'm
about
not sure if
this.
that's a sexual innuendo, but
You got to take a Milky Chance. Oh, that's great. Stolen Dance,
popular one.
Colorado. All right.
Yeah, give it a listen. Maybe you'll play it tonight at Cobb's Comedy Club. Like I said earlier, I work for a news station. If you could come up with any news headline, what would it be?
I like all these questions. I like what you're doing. if I could come up with a news headline,
Yes.
extra, extra, Elon Musk has been a little extra lately.
I love it. It's so relevant. Okay,
It
so
is.
we have under 2 minutes left. Anything else you like to wrap and talk about?
Yeah, sure. Teenage Millionaire on Instagram. My favorite thing right now is I've got a few stand-up comedy specials on my YouTube channel. They're great. Dear Jonah is one of them. The Spokane special, which is all improvised about Spokane. Bunch of stuff. Go there, subscribe, and check it out. I'm about to drop a Chicago stand-up special documentary, kind of, which is really really cool. Part of it's animated. It's really really fun. And yeah, just to come and see me live. TJ Miller does not have a website.com for all my tour dates. And yeah, this has been awesome. It's so rare, not so rare, but often I do interviews and stuff, and it's pretty painful. It's kind of boring to try and slog through. But this is really fun. I love all your questions. If you
Oh,
could come
thank
up
you.
with a news headline, what would it be?
Ooh, dang, throw it back at me.
Throwing it back.
This is why I'm not a news producer. I would say something like uh free Bay Area concert and it's a hologram of Jerry Garcia from
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, from the
Can
Grateful
you
Dead.
imagine on Hate Ashbury or something?